From credit card interest rates.
Ask Kuttner for a free consultation. 382-0000.
Well, it was 17 years ago today that two teenagers carried out one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history. On April 20th, 1999, 18-year-old Eric Harris and 17-year-old Dylan Klebold opened fire inside Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado. 12 students and one teacher lost their lives. 23 others were wounded. Now, after the shootings, the two turned the guns on themselves. The Columbine school shooting is still ranked as one of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history and one of the country's deadliest school shootings.
I remember that day. I was a senior in high school. I'll never forget it.
Don't we all?
All right, investigators trying to figure out whether a car fire in Illinois was started by an e-cigarette. Police say that an e-cig left in the center console of a Chevy Trailblazer suddenly ignited. This happened at a Walmart parking lot west of Chicago. Well, firefighters say that massive fire spread to a second car. Thankfully, nobody was injured here, but investigators are now taking a closer look at surveillance video to best determine where the fire started and whether that e-cig did in fact cause that fire.
President Obama touched down in Saudi Arabia today ahead of a meeting with the Saudi king and other Gulf allies. The group includes leaders from Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, and Bahrain. The White House says that the president plans to discuss deepening Gulf allies' involvement in the fight against ISIS, wars in Syria and Yemen, and broader counterterrorism efforts. Obama arrived amid strained relations with the Saudis, who remain deeply opposed to his outreach to Iran and are skeptical of his approach to Syria.
A 16-year-old transgender student says Tuesday's ruling in his favor over using the male bathroom at his high school is like an early birthday present for him. The ruling from the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals says Gavin Grimm, who was born female, should be able to use the male bathroom. The teenager is challenging the school system policy requiring students to use the restroom that corresponds to their biological gender. Gavin says he's just glad that he's able to get past such a hard time in his life.
This whole thing has been very difficult. It's a very unique experience to have an entire community discuss in public forum your genitals. There was an injustice being done, and I was just simply not the sort of person, just in my personality, I was not the sort of person to just sort of roll over and let it happen.
The court's ruling could have repercussions on the controversial North Carolina law that we've all been talking about that goes along the same lines.
Now, severe thunderstorms rolled through parts of North Texas overnight. They just can't get a break. The video from the Dallas-Fort Worth area where powerful storms brought heavy rain and high winds to the area. Minor flooding and power outages have also been reported across Dallas County. So far, no reports of injuries. Well, things are much worse in Houston. We've been following that storm as it's been going through and the flooding there, where police say at least 7 people have died in that city's massive flooding. Take a look at this video. Wow. You can see a toll worker chase after a sinking vehicle, but unfortunately he was too late. That driver drowned. Police say at least 5 people have died from drowning. Early Tuesday, the body of a woman was found inside a car near a drainage ditch. A second death occurred Monday morning when the driver of a Dodge Durango drove around roadblocks and into deep flood waters. And we talked about this time and time again. When the warnings are there, when the roadblocks are there, you have to heed those warnings. As we mentioned here, you can be fined for that.
And good for Nevada for putting those fines in place. And I think other states should follow suit.
Well, as what we've been seeing happening in Houston, most of those deaths have been because people have drowned in their car. And we saw that live reporter as he was doing a report a couple of days ago. A car started sinking right behind him, and the man literally had to freestyle swim to get out of it. So it's very dangerous.
He was even hesitant to get out of it. It was
he didn't know what to do.
Telling him, you need to get out of the car. And so, a lot of those flood deaths, unfortunately, those people are going to be still found behind the wheel. And we saw this morning earlier that Houston got hit again today. And we're actually going to take a look at that here in our weathercast too. But I want to start things out with what we're seeing outside. And this is a look at Lake Mead Marina. This is where I want to be today. It is beautiful. It is sunny. It is warm. I've seen a lot of people out on the docks. I saw a lot of people yesterday out taking their boats out. We were using the time-lapse video earlier. So definitely a beautiful day to be out on the lake, and it looks like tomorrow will be as well. But the winds are going to be returning, so maybe not as we get into Friday and Saturday. Now, temperatures as you're heading out for your lunch hour, maybe downtown. 86 degrees, Henderson and Southeast, 87 right now. Summerlin, 84 degrees. We are well on our way to hitting that first 90-degree day of the year. Now, winds, they're picking up a little bit. Mountains Edge, Aliante, El Dorado, all reporting 10-mile-per-hour sustained winds. We're expecting winds this afternoon about 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the southwest. Here's a look at that satellite radar picture. What we're talking about here locally is really not much of anything. High pressure and control, lots of sunshine, but this huge storm system out east, the center of it still around the Colorado area, and we're seeing these bands spinning off from it. Here's those thunderstorms that went through the Houston area earlier this morning. They're getting a little bit of a break right now. It's starting to taper off, but they're not done. They still have a chance for more shower and thunderstorm activity later this afternoon, and then again tomorrow. So if you have family members down there, remind them, please don't put yourself in that situation, and turn around, don't drown. Now here's a look at our allergy forecast here locally. Still dealing with some moderate levels of pollen for trees, weeds, and grass. Mold is at low levels, so the sniffles are still there. They're just getting a little bit better, right? Forecast for today, 90 degrees, looking at sunny skies, warm conditions. Again, winds out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 65, mostly clear skies. And then as we get into tomorrow, more sunshine, more warm temperatures. 91, the expected high. A storm system is going to come in Friday and Saturday. We're looking at very gusty winds with this system. 86 Friday, 78 on Saturday. Now, I have taken the chance of rain out of the forecast for Saturday, as I'm expecting it to all be north of the Las Vegas Valley, but we are leaving in a chance for Monday.
Okay. The roller coaster continues.
Yes, I was going to say, we're just on board. All right, so now we're talking about credit scores. We all know.
Get a car.